Hello, everyone. It is 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, and it is episode 2 of Coffee with Justine. So I think people are starting to join, which is exciting. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to let you all be virtually seated for a second. Hi, welcome. I feel like I need to greet all of you as you are joining the room. I'm very excited to have our second episode, and happy 2021, everyone. It's going to be a great year. 2020 is behind us, so thank you all for bearing with us through 2020, and new and good things are ahead of us. And also, I think that the second episode is going to be awesome. So thank you for tuning in for this. It's very, very exciting. So we're going to get started. So today's episode is all about setting up a title with IngramSpark and files and metadata and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to get into the weeds and put your questions in the comments, and I will try to keep up with them. I have a second phone with me today so that I can try to keep up with them better. So this is going to be exciting. All right, everyone. So, by the way, here is the mug. So, story behind the mug. So, I was very inspired by the young poet Amanda Gorman during the inauguration. I think a lot of America was. She not only was eloquent and smart and brilliant, but her words were just really, really beautiful. And it got me thinking about poetry that I love. And my favorite poet is T.S. Eliot. And as much as I love the Cats poems, being a musical theater fan, my favorite poem is The Love Story of J. Alfred Prufrock. So I had a mug made with my favorite quote from that poem on it, which I think is very appropriate for our show, that says, "I have measured out my life with coffee spoons." So that is today's giveaway. It is a giant mug for all of you. So I got the biggest size I could because we all need to stay caffeinated. So that is today's giveaway, and I will be giving it away at the end of the show with a trivia question. So please stay tuned for that. All right, so let's get started. So we're talking all things title upload today. So setting up a title with IngramSpark, I know that it can be intimidating, guys, but don't let it intimidate you. It's a process that is just like writing. You have to zone in and be one with the title setup process. The first thing that you guys need, thank you. I'm glad Post Office Fans says that they like the coffee mug. I'm glad. So the first thing that everyone needs is a finished book before we even start thinking about setting up titles with IngramSpark. And I know you are all working on that. And then the second thing everyone needs is an IngramSpark account. And you can get that by going to IngramSpark.com and clicking Create Account. And this process is very easy. It's free to create an account. And then once that is set up, you can start setting up your titles. And one of the things that is very important that you need to have a finished book is finished files. So that means an interior, a print PDF for your interior, and a PDF for your cover. Or this can also be an InDesign file for your cover as well. And there are a few ways that you can do this. So the first way, if you are not technologically savvy, or if you don't trust your eye and want to make sure that you have the best cover humanly possible, you can hire a designer to do this for you. Post Office Fan says, what if you don't have the ebook ready but want to take advantage of the combo title setup? we're going to get to that in a second. So I will get there when we start talking about actually setting up the book. But I won't forget your question, I promise. And this is a very good question from Phoenix United 2010. My account.ingramspark.com will bring you directly to the login page. So there is a little create the account button right under the when it says sign in. So if you click on that, that can lead you right to creating your account. So I know it's tiny, look for it. And if you have any questions, please be sure to check our resources online. So once you are ready to set up a title, you need those files. So if you don't trust yourself, hire a designer. There's a lot of great resources out there for how to hire a designer. Some places like Reedsy and 99 Designs are great places to start looking for covers. But before you go to those places, have some ideas in mind for what you want. If you're writing romance, know your genre. If you can, go to a brick and mortar bookstore. I know a lot of them are not open right now, but if you live in a place where you can do that, go to one of those stores and look at the books in that section and see what they look like. Take notes. How big are they? Don't be ashamed to bring a ruler with you. What do the covers look like? Sometimes they even list the book designer on the inside of the cover. So take notes about which ones you like. Are the covers glossy? Are they matte for your genre? So it really depends on what genre you're writing. And it's always good to look at those other books in your genre. Amazon is another great place to look for that. They have a ton of books and you can sort by genre and look at what those books in your genre look like. And so that you have some ideas about what you want before going to a designer to have that cover created. And we have a question. Do you have any advice on copywriting your book? So if you mail yourself a copy of your book, it's technically copyrighted, but if you want to actually have it cataloged with the Library of Congress, there are instructions about how to do that. If you Google it, and I believe it's like libraryofcongress.org or something along those lines. We can find the link and put it in the information in the bio. Or in our comments. So a designer is a great way to do that. Another thing that we have is our book building tool, which is new. And if you come to us without files, and during our title setup process, one of the things that you can choose is I don't have files. And that will direct you to our book builder tool. And the tool is really neat. It allows you to design your own cover. We have tons of images that you can choose and play around with for your cover. And it allows you to take your Word document and upload it into our tool, and it will format it for you in a ton of different formats. So it is a really, really neat tool. I highly suggest checking it out. If that is a route you want to go down. And so that is another great way to get files that you know will work with IngramSpark. So Lily Bloom Writer is asking, hi, if I want to design an 8x8 inch hardback book, premium color, what is the size of the interior that I have to upload? I understand we have to add margins, but I'm afraid I'll get them wrong. That is a great question, Lily, and we actually have some really great resources online to help you with that. So online, we have an entire file creation guide. I call this the Bible of file creation because it has everything you need to know about designing your files. If you hire a designer, please make sure to give them this link. And if you are designing them yourself, please make sure that you read everything really closely. It will give you the margins for certain trim sizes. It will give you bleed, which means how far color extends to the end of pages. It will give you everything you need to know to set up your files. And so I will also make sure that that link is listed somewhere within this video so that you can go find it. It has all of the information you need, and including the answer to that question, because I'm actually not sure what the margins are specifically for an 8x8. You have stumped me. I'm sorry, Lily Bloom Writer. So files, super, super important. And we have a team of people down in Tennessee who actually check all of the files. So Post Office Fans is saying a dry read, but very necessary. That is absolutely true. Totally dry read, not, the next great American novel, but totally necessary. So we actually have a team of people down in Tennessee who check your files to make sure that we can print them well. You will get an e-proof back. And if the e-proof doesn't look right, don't approve it, because then you can go fix your files and upload a new one for free. Once you approve that e-proof, you do have to pay a revision fee. That revision fee is $25. So just keep that in mind. Once you approve that e-proof, you do have to pay the revision fee. If you don't, you can revise as many times as you want. So that is something to always keep in mind when you are doing this file process. So once you have your files all good to go, do we have any more file questions out there? I'm gonna pause for a second while we wait for any file questions before I go on to setting up the book. All right, I think we're good. I'm gonna take a sip. All right, I'm gonna move on. So actually setting up the information about your book. We have recently changed this process, and it is Phoenix United 2010 is saying 25 USD per file. Cover and internal is 50. No, it is actually just $25 for a revision. And so it should just be $25 for a revision. So keep that in mind. If we are charging you incorrectly, please let us know. It depends how many times you revise the file, and if you are doing them at separate times. So if you are setting up a title, we now have a decision tree. This decision tree should take you to several choices. If you want to set up your print book, your ebook, or your print and your ebook together. It is different prices to set up these books. So if you are setting up a print book alone, it is $49. If you are setting up a print and an ebook together, it is $49. And if you are setting up an ebook alone, it is $25. So that being said, if you are thinking about doing an ebook, which I know we had a question about this earlier, it is good to have files for both your print and your ebook at the same time. In fact, we highly suggest getting files for your paperback, your hardcover, and your ebook done all at the same time. Usually it's cheaper if you have a designer doing it all in one fell swoop. So once you have all of that ready to go, and you know what files or you know what type you are doing, then you can set them up. I know earlier we had a question about setting up your print and your ebook at the same time. You do have to set them up at the same time. Otherwise, it's going to think that it's missing a piece of it. So you should have to set them up at the same time. But we do have promo codes to make title setup free for that I will give to you. Our one right now is Spark21US, all one word, all capitals. So it's Spark21US. So once you have chosen what you want to set up, then you have to fill out metadata. Metadata is just a fancy word for all of your information about your book. So Buckner Bruce 414 says, question, I'm an IngramSpark author. My book I'd publish. Am I able to use my book for both ebook? I'm not sure what the question is. If like for files, it is two different types of files for an ebook and for a print book. For print books, we need print PDFs for the interior, and for a PDF or an InDesign file for your cover. And for the ebook, we need an EPUB and a PDF or a JPEG for the cover. So there are two different files for those two different types of books. Leanne Downey said, how can you do hardcover, paperback, and ebook all at the same time? I had all files, but had to do paperback separately. So, good question, Leanne. All of those I want to mention are different ISBNs, but the way that you would do that in our system is set either the paperback or the hardcover up with the ebook at the same time, and then set up the third type separately. So a lot of people choose to do the paperback and the ebook together, and then set up the hardcover separately. So it would be technically two different setups, but it would cover all three books. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So once those are set up, it kind of kills two birds with one stone for the ebook, essentially. I hope that makes sense. So metadata. Metadata is just a fancy word for all the information about your book. And this is essentially, oh, we have more questions. Sorry, guys. Lily Bloom Writer said, do you do personalized copies for books which are only printed by you but not published? We do. We have a thing called Personalize It. And when you are buying books, you can, there's a little button that you see when you're checking out your order called Personalize It. You would click on that to personalize your order. Let's see. I know you give a SKU or something like that for authors who don't have ISBNs. So we now have free ISBNs, and we do have SKUs. SKUs are non-distributable, which means that you can't sell a book that has a SKU, but we now do have free ISBNs for your use. I do suggest that you buy your own ISBN just because it gives you more freedom around your book. If you use one of our free ISBNs, that title or that ISBN has to stay within the Spark ecosystem. So if you want to buy your own ISBN, you can either buy one through IngramSpark or through Bowker. Bowker is the place where you buy them in the US, and that is BOWKER. Let's see. Am I able to get my file back from Ingram to do some editing? So you should have that file with you. If you lose it for some reason, our customer service team can help you. There is a charge to get that file though. Let's see. All right. So let's talk about metadata for a second. So metadata intimidates people. But keep in mind, if you go into it with having written it first and know what you're writing, it makes the process go really easily. So that being said, I would highly suggest writing things like your author bio, a description for your book, and let's see, what else? I need my list. There's a lot of things for metadata. A short description. This is like an elevator pitch for your book. So here are some things that we ask you for your book. Your title, a note about titles. Please make sure it's original so that people can find your book in a search. Really, really important. Language. So a lot of people publish in multiple languages, so that is also very important. Your book description. So this is the description that goes on the back of the book. And if you write it ahead of time, make sure that it has a lot of keywords that people would search for in that description. It helps with your search when people are looking for your book on online retailers. We have a lot of information about this on our blog, and it's really good to read some of that before you write your description. And we also have a short description field. This is your elevator pitch, and usually this should be bolded. So that is a fun little fact. So your contributor, please make sure you put an author bio. This just adds a level of professionalism to your listing. And also, independent bookstores really like it when you put your location. So for me, I would put New York, New York as my author location. And this helps them know if there are local authors in their midst. So please also put that as well. So we also ask you for subject codes, or the fancy name for this is BISAC codes. This is essentially like where your book would belong in a bookstore. So, for example, if I am writing a children's book, there are things like alphabet and, I'm trying to think of some animals and things like that. So the more specific you get with these subject codes, the easier it is to search your book. And so please don't choose a general code. You will be tempted, I promise you. But the more specific you get with these codes, the better. You can find a full list of these at bisg.org. So definitely go look at that full list, and once you see that full list, you'll totally understand what I mean about getting specific with those codes. And book types. We talked a little bit about this earlier. So book types are important. What size is your book? Is it black or white or color? If it's color, what kind of paper? So 70-pound paper, is it premium color? Is your book cream or white? These things are all really, really important. Lamination type, that means is your cover matte or gloss? So all of these things are really, really important. And again, my earlier tip about going to your bookstore or looking online about what other people in your genre are doing so that you have an idea of how your book would fit in amongst other books in your genre. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my voice, guys. All right. And audience. If your book is a children's book, they're going to ask about the audience. If it's a regular trade book, or if it's academic, we're going to ask about that. However, if it's a children's book, this is very important because they will ask for an age range. And other things that are important: page count, ISBN. These are things that we talked about a little bit earlier. So again, all of this stuff is not very intimidating, but if you prepare for it, you'll be much less scared going into the process. Pricing is also another thing. So we have a podcast and blogs about pricing that I suggest you look at, or oh gosh, tongue-tied, guys, sorry, that I suggest that you take a look at. These will definitely help you unravel the mystery of pricing, and maybe we'll do an entire episode just on that. But that is another field that we are going to ask you for. So now I'm going to answer some questions, since there's been a lot of them. And sorry I've been ignoring them, guys. I just wanted to get through that. Let's see. Are there any other charges after the $49.99? That's a great question. So after the $49.99, there is a revision fee if you revise your files, but other than that, there are no other charges associated with IngramSpark. We also offer an advance ad listing when you set up a new title, but that is optional. That is not a required fee. Let's see. Have all items you mentioned for metadata ready, or have all, oh, that's just, yes, post office fans, have all of those items ready for metadata. It does make it easier. Let's see what else. Thanks for the props, guys. I really appreciate it. I like to hear that people are doing their third book with us. Go you! This is awesome. Make sure you specifically select the printing quality of the paper. So yes, actually this is very important. So one of the things you want to think about ahead of time is what type of paper you are printing on. And the reason why this is important is because it is going to determine how thick the spine of your book is. The thicker the paper, the thicker your spine is. So if you are choosing to print on our cream paper, it's actually going to be a little bit thicker than our white paper if you're printing a black and white book. And also if you are printing on our 70-pound paper for our color offerings, it is also going to be thicker for your spine width. So we actually have a few tools for this. So we have a spine width calculator on our website. I will also get a link for you for that. The spine width calculator helps you with that. And we also have some just regular calculators that can help you figure out how much you would make per book for the different book types. And I think that is really important as well when you're trying to figure out all these different offerings. What kind of color do I choose? And things of that nature. So I think that's all very important going into designing your book. All right. Oh, someone's about to publish their first book through IngramSpark. So exciting. That's great. Congratulations. Adrian T. Marable. I hope I'm saying that right. Can you talk a little bit about the new agreement? Yes, it was supposed to be signed yesterday, so I hope you signed it. But essentially the new agreement is bringing on a lot of new ebook retailers. And so we have combined both our print and our ebook agreement into one agreement, and also added these ebook retailers to the fold. That also means that you will be paid 85% of net for your ebook sales as well. So those are the big changes that have come to the new agreement. Let's see, any other questions? Keywords divided by semicolons, say the instructions and no space between the words, only semicolons. Yes, so for keywords, I do want to talk about keywords for a second. These are very important, especially in a world that is buying a lot of books online. So keywords help people search for your books. So, and the more specific they are, the better. And you should think about what people would Google to find your book. And so, ask people actually what they would Google to find your book. It's actually a very interesting exercise to do that. And then once you've accumulated 7 to 10 really good keywords, then yes, you would put them in our system and separate them by semicolons with no spaces in between. Essentially, when these get fed out to retailers, spaces are just dead space and you're taking up space that could be used for words. So make sure there are no spaces in between. All right. I have purchased ISBN numbers and I have used one provided by IngramSpark. Great, you can do both. I suggest using ISBNs that you buy, but you can absolutely use both for different titles. Page count seems not clear to many as, not sure about that one. All right, let's see. Sorry guys, trying to, I'm glad the spine calculator is useful. Does the spine calculator take the recent price increase into account? So so it should have a little button that says, show me the price after the March 3rd increase. And so if you click that, it should show you the price after the price increase. So please take a look out for that. And if it's not there yet, it should be soon. In the beginning, it was frustrating to get a PDF file formatted. I know, I'm sorry. I hope that we have a whole list of experts on our website. So if you still find this frustrating, please check out that list of experts that can help you format files. We will also put that information somewhere in the links or what have you. Also, our book building tool is really, really great to make sure that your files are compatible with our printing. So definitely check that out as well. Oh, and I said someone's last name correctly. Oh, I'm so happy. Everyone always messes up my last name, so I'm very happy about that. So, any other questions? I did say that you were supposed to sign a new agreement yesterday. Check your account to make, if you have recently set up a new account with us, then you should be fine. After October specifically, if you can still log into your account today, then you're totally fine. If you cannot log into your account today and you're experiencing issues, please reach out to our customer service team, and they can help you sign the new agreement and get into your account. If you have missed that. What is the percentage of refunds for self-publishers? It depends. So people can return books for 180 days. And so if you select returns on a book, please be aware that people can return that book, and you are paying the wholesale price that publisher or that retailer paid for the book. So if you are charging $20 for a book and you have a 50% wholesale discount on that book, a retailer paid $10 for that book. And if that book comes back, then you are paying $10 for that return, essentially. So please keep that in mind. I have a book with a different publisher, but I want to republish with Ingram. Do I need a different ISBN number? Yes, you do. So if you are getting rights reverted to you, definitely check that those rights do revert to you. Please rights are definitely an issue. Yes, that book would need a new ISBN number so that you are the vendor of record. This is a term you'll hear often in publishing. You want to make sure that you as a publisher / author are the vendor of record for that title and not your old publisher. So that's very important. Let's see. Do you have a resource to check your book titles? So we have a checklist that you can go through. That's our publishing checklist to make sure that you have everything that you need to get started with us and through the publishing process. So that is on our website as well. Is there a way to get a Photoshop template rather than an InDesign or PDF? No, we do need a PDF exported in the proper way, or an InDesign file for a cover, unfortunately. How long does it take ebooks to show up in Apple bookstores or elsewhere? Not long. It should not take long. It should take a few days. If it's not there after a week, please reach out to our customer service. Print books are longer. It can take up to 2 weeks for your books to show on all of our retail sites, just because it's a different process. How do you protect yourself from returns if they are able to return up to a year and most retailers don't buy without a flexible return, right? So that's a great question. Keep a rainy day fund is the answer to that question. So I always say keep 30% of what you make every month in a rainy day fund for the possibility of returns. This will ensure that you have money set aside that just in case books do come back, that you can take it out of that kitty for those returns. Pretend like you never made that money and that it is only dedicated for those returns. Because if they do come back, there's no way to stop them from coming back. If you have made your book returnable from the get-go, please do not make it non-returnable. We have to send that message out to all the retailers and they will dump stock. And you'll do yourself a world of harm when you're trying to prevent. You're going to do to yourself exactly what you were trying not to do, essentially. So once I hit submit to publish my book, how long does it take to sell? So it will take about 2 weeks to show up on our retail websites, and then it is up to you to market your book so that it does sell. So up to 2 weeks is the answer to that question to actually get your listings up. Where can I find in real libraries my book in Europe? Libraries in Europe, I actually don't know the answer to that question. I'll have to find out for you. That's a really good one. I'll have to ask my European colleagues. How do I find out which bookstores and libraries buy via IngramSpark? This is a great question. Actually, all independent bookstores buy through Ingram because we are the only wholesaler in the US that they buy from. So if you tell them that your book is available through Ingram, then they can buy your book. So it is actually really great to have your book available through IngramSpark. Libraries buy through 2 different wholesalers, us and Baker and Taylor. So chances are they also buy through us as well. So there you go. Could you please talk about POD in South America, ways to make the book price reasonable? We have a global connect partner in Brazil. So that is one way to make your book available in South America. And you can, we set the price at the US price and then it is converted. So that's how that works for Brazil. Does IngramSpark do POD? Yes, we only do POD. So if an order comes in for your book, we print that order and we ship it to wherever it needs to go. So there is no stock. You don't have to worry about keeping books in your garage unless you want to. Everything is print on demand. Getting a new ISBN isn't required if you're coming from another self-publishing company such as KDP. I will put a caveat on that. If you have used a free ISBN from KDP, then you will need a different ISBN because you will not be able to bring that free ISBN out of the KDP ecosystem. Just like how you can't bring the free ISBNs out of the Spark ecosystem, the same goes for the free ones in KDP. But to their point, you can transfer books that were in KDP. If you own that ISBN. All right, guys, I feel like I have been talking a lot and I hope that this has been helpful. And so I think it's time to raffle off the mug. I think it is. Hold on, I'm just going to take one more sip. All right, so today's question for this beautiful T.S. Eliot coffee mug that is ginormous. I'm going to Vanna White it. All right, so the rules of the game are, I'm going to say take a drink. I'm going to say the question, and you have to type the answer in the comments. Whoever gets the answer first wins the mug. I promise no one has drank out of this mug. It is freshly out of the box. However, I will say 1, 2, 3, go. After go, you can then type the answer so that it is fair. So is everybody ready for the mug? All right. So today's trivia question is, who is the best-selling fiction writer of all time? 1, 2, 3, go. Answers. Can I watch this on replay? Yes, you can. We are uploading this to the IngramSpark Instagram account once we are done today. So yeah, it'll be here for you to watch afterwards, so that you can relive all of the answers. So we have Thomas Stearns Eliot, no. J.K. Rowling, no. She was up there though. She was definitely up there. John Grisham was definitely up there too. Oh, we're on to something. Oh, I wish I was the best-selling author of all time. That would be really great. Rowling, and we have it. Agatha Christie is the correct answer. So Libero de Chile is the winner. So you are the recipient of this beautiful mug. My husband is putting our cat as the answer. Yes, Dale, our cat is the best-selling fiction writer of all time. So please, if Libero de Chile, if you have, please message us your information so that we can send you this beautiful mug. So guys, thank you again for being with me today for this episode. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Oh man, I had the first name. I know you were so close. Oh, you live in Italy. Oh no, we can't ship internationally. Oh goodness. Oh, what are we gonna do? Should we do another one? I think we have to do another one, because I'm so sorry, Libero de Chile. We can't ship internationally. It has to be in the US. All right. I had a backup question, which was, what is the best-selling book of all time? 1, 2, 3, go. I would. Is any... Oh, this just got so complicated. All right. Adrian T. Marable. Oh, Libero de Chile with the answers today. Yes, Phoenix United 2010 did get it right. So it is the Bible. So Phoenix United 2010, send us by DM your information, and we will get you your beautiful mug. So, oh, everyone got that right. That was an easy one. Oh man. I think also Adrian T. Marble should get something also. So I'm going to tell our marketing staff that you get something. Not sure yet what, but we're going to figure it out. All right, guys. So Adrian, DM us too. All right, guys. I had a lot of fun with all of you today. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you can take this information with you and set up your books at IngramSpark, and it makes it a little bit easier. And I hope that you will join me again for episode 3, and we will announce what the topic is for episode 3 in a little bit. But until then, please follow us at Instagram and Twitter. Our Twitter is at IngramSpark. Oh gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. They gave this to me so that I didn't mess this up. All right, so so please follow us on our social. They didn't give us the handles. We will put them in the bio. So please follow us at Twitter and Instagram. Please follow me at Twitter and Instagram. At Instagram, I'm at IngramSpark Justine, and I am at Spark Justine at Twitter. And so thank you again, everyone, and I will see you soon. This video will be posted to our feed, so please refer to it if you have any questions. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day.